Holy crap, I'm actually finally doing this. Sorry it took so long, guys. I did not intend it to take 4 months to do this simple question and answer session. I ended up having to PCS to a different location, so now I'm stationed somewhere else, and the move and all that stuff that got into it definitely delayed me a little bit. I was also planning on doing a 3D animation for this question and answer session with my character being rigged for motion capture animation, which didn't really work out too well. So I kind of decided against that, and then I got involved with a couple other projects, and lo and behold, it is 4 months later, and you guys are wondering what the hell happened to this question and answer video. So, without further ado, let's get into the questions. Alright, question 1 by TheCodemasterc. What is going to be your main focus on the channel? Alright, so for my navybrony channel, the focus hasn't really changed too much. The original ponies in real life videos that I started off doing with the two-dimensional animation from the show kind of taken a little bit of a back burner. And I'll tell you why. The main reason why is because there's a lot of other people that have branched off and started doing this, such as StormX3 and Little Shy Fim, and a couple other people. So I originally started off doing the ponies in real life videos more of a proof of concept that they could be done, and I originally planned on doing some more elaborate ones, but since people have already been doing more elaborate ones themselves and they're doing it very well, I decided I wanted to branch into a different area and start once again setting a higher standard for the ponies in real life videos. So right now I'm actually working on trying to incorporate 3D animation into live action and going from there. But the source filmmaker pony models and all the other stuff doesn't really work out too well, so it's a little tricky, and a couple other 3D projects I've been involved with have been delaying that for a lot, so I haven't had too much time to work on the PRL stuff. So the other focus on my channel has been music. So far that's actually been kind of on the back burner as well, but I do plan on still being active in music. I do enjoy producing music a lot, and I'm still trying to find my own little genre, which I still can't really describe exactly which genre my music falls under, but I just write whatever sounds good to me. So I'm glad that a lot of you guys enjoy my music, and I definitely hope to be doing more of that stuff in the future. I do have another channel. I go under the name of Navron, and that's going to be my 100% music only channel, and it's not going to be overtly pony related. If there is any pony related songs that I do, they'll probably be hinted at and not really that noticeable based off the lyrics or the structure of the song. So think of that more as like my official music channel. So it's going to be less on the experimental side, and it'll be more towards, or it'll be closer to the industry type of electronic dance music, although I don't want to completely scrap any individuality or originality in my own sound, so I'm trying my best to incorporate elements of my sound into that kind of music and then going from there. So if you want to check it out, so far I haven't released anything, but I've been getting the channel together, and I do plan on starting to release some music on there pretty soon. So those are the main focuses between my two channels. And once again, if you're sticking around for just the pony stuff, this navybrony channel is the one you want to stick with. And if you're more interested in following my musical side of things, head over to the Navron channel, and that's where you'll find the majority of my future music. Alright, next question. GeonExMachina asks, what brony conventions are you planning on going to in 2014? I was originally planning on going to BabsCon because it's probably the closest one from where I'm at now. Yeah, I haven't really made any plans so far. I just transferred to a new command, so they're less lenient on me taking long periods of leave, especially for going to a convention. And most of the other conventions are relatively far away from where I'm at right now, so the outlook for 2014 doesn't look too good. I do However, I do really want to actually perform at one of the musical shows at one of the conventions. So I will be spending most of this year likely preparing to get myself a set list together and a performance together that I would actually be able to put on, whether that's at like next year's BronyCon or Everfree Northwest or one of those more musically inclined conventions. JMJ168 asks, who's your favorite pony? I knew I was going to get this question. It's pretty much a guarantee. My favorite pony is Applejack. She has always been my favorite character ever since Season 1, and none of that has changed now that we're in Season 4. Reasons why I like her character, I think she's just the closest to my own morals and ethics. She has a very strong sense of family values. I grew up in a large family, so I can side with that. And then just her work ethic. Her work ethic is definitely more akin to my own when it comes to doing everything yourself, doing a lot of hard work, and getting stuff accomplished that way. Yeah, I think if you actually look at the favorite pony list by the folks on the military side of the community, you'll actually see Applejack being ranked a lot higher, and I think part of that is because of the military philosophy of doing hard work to get stuff done. DefDoom33 asks, what's your day like in the Navy? What is your job description? wariyoshidirector asks, what's your rate? And Ithian42 asks, what's your rate in rank? Alright, so pretty much the same question. So my rate right now is AWS2. It used to stand for Aviation Warfare Systems Operator. Now it's been condensed and now it stands for Naval Air Crewman. So I'm a Naval Air Crewman 2nd class. I fly in the MH-60S helicopter. I'm a search and rescue swimmer, crew chief, aerial door gunner, pretty much fully qualified in each mission area. And that's pretty much it. What's my day like in the Navy? Average day. A lot of my days are just like a standard corporate job. I've got collateral duties on the ground where I've got to deal with Excel trackers and doing logs and records and all stuff. Gear order, supply, working with funding. All that stuff is just like a corporate business type of job, but the only difference is, every other day I'll usually go up flying, do some rappelling and stuff like that. So it's pretty fun. And similar to the last question, DasTV89 asks, where are you stationed? And am I going to stay in the Navy? I think as of right now, I'm actually pretty set on getting out. I've been in for about 8 years so far, and I've always been drawn to filmmaking and just doing more creative stuff ever since I was a kid. And recently I just discovered my passion in 3D modeling and animation. So this fall I'll be starting a bachelor's program working towards a BA in computer animation. And then from there, I've still got a few more years left in the Navy. I do plan on getting my degree before I get out. But I think at that point I will probably get out and I will try to get a job with one of the main VFX companies. Rare Walker asks, do you know of any music or DJ software that is free? I think the first one that comes to mind is Audacity, but you're probably already familiar with that one. Audacity is good, and I've heard they do have they have some way, whether it's a patch or a separate download, that will allow you to run some VST programs, I believe. But overall, I'm not too familiar with any kinds of free music or DJ software. I haven't really looked that too much into it, so I can't help out much more with that one. Robert Raeder asks, what musicians have influenced your style and how much has your music evolved? I listen to a lot of stuff. Pretty much the only two types of genres I don't listen to are rap and country, although even I grew up with a little bit of rap. But nevertheless, the bands that I grew up with, Tool, The Perfect Circle, Alice in Chains, Nirvana, and Mastodon were the big ones I would listen to. I was also into a lot of thrash metal bands, Megadeth, Slayer, Metallica, Anthrax. So got pretty involved with the metal scene and the progressive metal scene in regards to the music I listened to. When I was a really young kid, I was actually into a lot of game soundtracks, especially I think the first game soundtrack I ever listened to was the MechWarrior 2 soundtrack, which is a game that came out in 1995. And from there's been other games I've had phenomenal soundtracks, and then I don't think I ever really got into a game soundtrack as much as I did with MechWarrior 2 than when the first Halo came out, because I thought that soundtrack was just absolutely amazing. So a lot of music runs in my family. My dad is really into classical music, so I grew up listening to a lot of classical music, rock, metal, game soundtracks, pretty much almost everything. Recently, with more electronic bands being out nowadays, there's been a few electronic bands that I got into, but I would say a couple ones that really stuck out to me. I think Schmongel is probably my favorite electronic artist. Schmongel and GeonExMachina. Those are probably the two that I listen to a lot nowadays. So overall, I think a lot of my music is a mix of everything coming together. So you've got elements of electronic music, you've got elements of metal, you've got elements of classical, and you've got elements of game soundtracks, all mixed into one. So that's largely where a lot of my sound comes from, is just a big grouping of a lot of genres I listen to, which is why it also fluctuates a lot. Scorch Mane asks, what did your comrades think when they found out you're a brony? Nothing really too much. At the time, I was the most, or not the most senior, but I was one of the most senior guys in the shop. And I'd actually shown them a few of the trailer spoof videos that the brony community created. Like I think I showed them the 300 one and the Inception one. But at that time, I wasn't even brony. I didn't even know what bronies were, and I just was kind of showing them like, look at what these guys did with this really girly show and mashing it up with this trailer here. So my coworkers liked that, and then I think a month later was when I actually checked out the show itself, and when I came back, they were like, "Oh, you like the show now? It's kind of weird." Oh well, make sure you show up at 6:30 tomorrow. So really, it wasn't that much. Not much at all. Happy Bunny NTX asks, I saw your name on a list of people making a Milo Dashi film. If so, how's the progression on that, or will it continue? And Shrapnel Anime asks, is the Milo Dashi thing still going on, or is it dead? Both good questions. Ironically, just a few days after you guys asked that question, that's when Storm X3 released the Milo Dashi short film. So we were involved with a separate Milo Dashi film, and I think there was a third one that was also going on. I think it's safe to say that the project is pretty much dead now. I have not really heard anything from the director. So a little background on the way that it was working for us was our director was going to be shooting the live action, sending the storyboards and the live action shots to our animator, who would do the animations in Flash. Then they would send me the animations plus the original footage, and it would be my job to composite them into the final film. So judging from the fact that I haven't heard anything back from our animator for almost a year now, I think it's pretty safe to say that it's dead. Kind of a shame, but on the plus side, I do think that Storm X3 did a phenomenal adaptation of that story, and I honestly don't really think that it could have been made any better. I think his directing, especially for an indie film director, was actually pretty good. So if you haven't checked that one out, definitely check that one out. But I think it'd be pretty hard to top that one. And in terms of our little, or I might, in terms of our My Little Dashi film, I don't think we could have done that much better than what's already been done. So I think it'd be kind of pointless to try and continue to make that happen. AshaMan72 asks, is there any fan content you would recommend to a relatively new brony? I mean, there's loads of content out there. I'm not really that big on fan fiction. I've read a few fan fictions, but it's not really my thing to go to. But if you enjoy reading, there is the entire plethora of fan fictions out there. If you like music, there's tons of artists in literally every single genre you can imagine. And if you're into watching film spoofs or animations, there's definitely some bigger names that stand out, like you've got GeonExMachina. Currently still in a little bit of legal heat, but I think his videos are mostly coming back online now. But yeah, GeonExMachina is a great one to check out if you're into fan-made animations. And then if you're into like the ponies in real life type videos, you've got StormX3, Little Shy Femme, and a couple others. So there's lots of stuff out there. Pretty much whatever you feel like looking into, you just do a search on it and you'll probably find something. Last question comes from Della26 Cheetown or Chitone. Have you ever thought about making faster paced music? It's a good question. The really fast paced genres like jungle, drum and bass, I'm not really too big of a fan of. I don't really like super fast paced music, which is, I know, kind of weird coming from a background listening to thrash metal. But I like the swing kind of groove that comes with the slower paced music. So like, even though my most recent song, the Bats remix, it feels slow, but it's actually at 185 BPM or something like that, something crazy. So that one is like probably the fastest I'll go, but it was still done more at a halftime feel to get that slow kind of swingy feel, especially for the Fluttershy segments. But yeah, overall, I have thought about making faster paced music, but I haven't really tried to actually make faster paced music, if that makes sense. That actually is the rest of the questions. If you guys have a question that you still want to ask me, you can either wait for the next question answer video, or you guys can ask me on my Facebook page or my YouTube page. Just a note, if you guys are going to ask me on my YouTube page, please don't send a PM via the old YouTube system. I do not get a notification when you guys do that, and I may miss your message, or it may take a very long time for me to respond. So just a heads up on that. I did want to touch base on one more thing, which is the Follow Equestria video that I'm currently working on. This was kind of a idea that I had that came out after I posted my question answer video. But essentially it's going to be about a 3-minute short film based off the fanfiction Follow Equestria, and it's going to be action-packed, and it's going to be awesome, and it's going to take a lot longer than May to come out. So I did give the original deadline to myself of May, but that's not going to happen. So I'm not going to give you guys another deadline of when that's going to happen, because I don't want to let you guys down with that. But I do promise I am still working on it. I would estimate I'm about 40% there now, maybe 50%. But it's definitely going to take a few more months to get that knocked out at the very least. Still have to model an entirely new character and do all the rigging and stuff like that and preparing it for animation. So that's going to take the longest. Once I actually have all the assets that I need, doing the actual animation should be much faster than all the preparatory stuff. So stay tuned to the channel, because I will be releasing further progress videos on that, just to let you guys know I'm still working on it. And now that we're coming around the next summer hiatus and all that, I do plan on working more on music and maybe even ponies in real life video. So who knows, really. But thanks for coming by, and hopefully I answered a lot of your guys' questions. And I guess I will sign off. I'll leave you guys with this, surfing a medevac litter.